hardest to go after some of those tough balls. She even went into the fence on this side, but again, I mean, see if Cincinnati gets something going.
Dive by Stewart to keep it up, lightly tapped over by Abby Walker. Return for Xavier. Frame hits it. Leffler set to Stewart, tried to tap it over. Now Leffler again. Stewart again, blocked at the net again.
Great defense.
Glendening, Stewart, too strong and out of bounds.
That's the thing, though. I mean, if you're playing good defense at the net, you're looking at, Anna Taylor, Sarah Stevens up front. They're doing a really good job, but if it's still short and the ball is getting blocked, you're going to try to overcompensate, and that's exactly what happened there. That ball was overcompensated and went out the back end, and then it kind of messes with outside hitters at this point.
They took that away from Xavier, saying it was tapped off the fingers.
That works.
So Julie Whittakin subs in and will serve for the Bearcats. It's 6-4. Taylor smacks into the net, still goes over. Leffler sets. Nolan kept up by the Musketeers. And that one, Frame just wasn't able to maneuver in time. She kind of was turned sideways to it, couldn't reach over.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough acrobatic thing to get out of the way. It just wasn't good enough in that regard.
Tapped over by Glendening. Off the hands of the Musketeers for a Cincinnati point. Seven to 6, Xavier. Walker served. Return by the Musketeers. Glendening hits that one too strong off the back line. Side out. Musketeers, they lead 8-6 here in set 3. The whole match is tied 1-1. Served over by Corsaro, returned by Glendening. Corsaro blocks that hit by Glendening, just goes right back over. And Carly Glendening will not be denied a third time. That one was better placed in the first two and in for a Bearcat point.
A really good job there by Glendening, and was able to do a lot of good stuff there.
Leffler serves. Kemp knocks that one and out of bounds off the sideline. Tied up at 8 here in set 3. Leffler serves it over, and that one just floated out of bounds, too strong.
Yeah, it's a tight game, 9-8. Just going back and forth. We'll see at what point does either team break away in this one.
Musketeers serve. Tapped up. Leffler set. Glendening blocked. Diving Musketeers, can't get to it on time as it falls right on the Big East logo and out of bounds.
Awkward handle on it right there for Xavier. I mean, just a great play by Cincinnati on the cross shot, and see if they can get this thing back and get some points.
Musketeers knocked that one over, kept up by Frame. Leffler, set. Stewart, kept a great up by Emma Grace. Stewart's going to dive in front, keep it up, set to Nolan. Blocked once again. Musketeers playing strong at the net. Stewart's going to up it again. This time Williams tries to tap it over to confuse the defense. Doesn't work. And a blocked at the net by Legia Williams.
Again, putting her mark on this game. She's done a really good job. There was a good volley back and forth by both teams right there, but Cincinnati able to come away with it on that one.
Coming into this matchup, Legia Williams is second on the team in blocks with 23 on the year. That one knocked over, kept up by Frame. Blocked again at the net by Legia Williams.
Wow. That point's going to go with Xavier on that one, but still, that was quite impressive.
10-10 here in set 3. Musketeers serve it over as Neeson out of bounds, was close to that back corner. Line judge said no.
Yes, and we mean very close on that one.
Faith Frame serves it. Musketeers try to tap it over. It goes off Walker, and now Frame's able to lightly return it. Blocked at the net by Walker. Frame to Leffler, to Abby Walker. Tapped and controlled. Now Margot Kemp will hit it over. Leffler again to Walker. A great rally, and it's finished off by a well-placed hit by Emma Grace.
Looking at Leffler on that. That thing was going to go over the net, and she just said, I'm going to tap it back over here, try to set something up. I mean, it was a great effort there, but, I mean, 11-11, make a wish. That's your score right now.
Everything is tied up, 1-1, 11-11. Who's going to break it? Leffler to Glendening, blocked to the net. She taps it over herself. That one in on the sideline.
Wow.
And so it's Margot Kemp and the Musketeers who break it, 12-11.
That's pretty impressive right there. Painting it on that back corner and trying to break the lead here and see if Xavier has some momentum, or can our Cats swing it back?
Walker hits it. Leffler set. It's Stewart.
Ooh.
Fallon Stewart, powerful hit right to the ground. Might have caused a crater in the middle of the Cintas Center.
Eloise Tchaikovsky almost caught that thing like she was trying to go to the ground and secure a catch.
Sydney Nolan serves off the net, almost caused troubles for the Musketeers. Grace is going to return it, and on the sideline was close to being out of bounds. Xavier takes the lead back at 13-12.
It's been going back and forth. We'll see if someone can break away and how this thing will play out. At that substitution right there. And Gretchen Sigmund in the game.
Second time she's been in tonight. She was in early in set 1 when the Bearcats were having their struggles and Molly Alvey was trying to fix things. Nothing to fix on that one as Caitlin Leffler perfectly sets to Walker, who knocks that one to the ground.
Again, setting up the table for dinner. And that's where the players feast. That's where your outside hitters, your right side, that's where they all feast. And they've done a really good job.
Julie Whittakin serves. An opportunity for Anna Taylor, who just lightly taps that one off the outstretched hands of Abby Walker, who was going for the block attempt. Kind of an awkward play, but it works out for the Musketeers.
Yeah, Xavier breaks that tie. Xavier's up 14-13 right now. Reset the table, set 3, 1-1. We'll see what happens.
We see in for the first time tonight for Xavier, Charlotte Moriarty, the outside hitter. Glendoning's going to knock that one. Blocked to the net, controlled. Corsaro is going to set it up. It will be Moriarty taking it, and she'll come in for a point, and she'll get that point.
Yeah, Moriarty, looking at her, a freshman, LaGrange, Kentucky, 46 digs this year, 31 kills coming into the match. Was charted as a young player with a lot of potential for the Xavier squad.
Already making an impact here. Xavier in the lead, 15-13. The serve. Out of bounds. Side out, Cincinnati.
Yeah, this thing, if it stays this close, I mean, you might go this entire set without a timeout. I mean, this is pretty interesting stuff.
Serve over. Tapped over by Moriarty. Glendonning to Leffler. Set to Legia Williams. Blocked but kept up by Leffler. Now Glendonning knocks that one. Corsaro, great job to keep it up. Moriarty again, and too strong out of bounds. Something funny there. A chatter had just asked what the score was, and I mistyped 15-14, and I put it in the chat as 15-15.
Yeah, you spoke it into existence.
May have predicted the future. It is now 15-15 off that out-of-bounds hit by Moriarty.
Good stuff, Mr. Diedrich.
Serve over by the Bearcats. Anna Taylor's going to tap it. A great dive by Harrison to get it up, but nobody's able to return it. It was out of the reach of Gretchen Sigmund. 16-15. Musketeers lead here in set 3. No one has pulled away in set 3. Quicero serves. Whittakin, a great job to keep it up. Leffler tried to tap it over. It was blocked. Faith Frame to Glendening and out of bounds.
Broke that stride a little bit. Now it's, Xavier's up 2. We'll see how that plays out going forward.
Quicero serves it over. Leffler is going to set Glendening. Controlled by the Musketeers. Tap over by Kemp. Now Leffler to Glendening again. And that time it'll go for a Cincinnati point. 17-16.
Great return right there by Glendening. It was right on the side, toward the scores table, right down the line. It was a tough play for Xavier to try to make.
Caitlin Leffler will serve for the red and black. Gets it over cleanly. Quicero set up to Taylor. A great job by Faith Frame to keep that one up. Blocked at the net. Kept up by Leffler. Glendening. Good up by the Musketeers. Emma Grace tries to hit that one. Julie Whittakin is into the chairs at the front row. Frame is able to return it. A great effort by the Bearcats. And out of bounds to the hustle play by Julie Whittakin. Goes their way, and the Bearcats are all tied up at 17.
She very well could have just pulled up and said, make the business decision. Kept that thing in play. Xavier hits it down the line. Faith Frame pulls away. Not going to take that one. Bearcat point.
Set. Kemp taps it over. Blocked at the net by Williams. Kept alive. Glendening. Blocked the net and down on the Cincinnati side. That was Margot Kemp.
Xavier defense is starting to get better right now. They're starting to come more active on the net. Done a pretty good job. Cincinnati's got to try to find the gaps and try to find more ways to open this thing up and attack.
Clean serve. Leffler to Nolan. Kept up. Set to Kemp. She smacks that one into the hands of Williams. Now is set to Glendening. Same result. Kept alive by the Musketeers. Moriarty right to Frame. Leffler to Glendening again. And that one hit the Musketeers' hands and fell on their side. It's all tied 18-18 deep in the set 3. This one has been fun.
Great stuff there by Glendening. It was a good job getting it over, barely over the net, but obviously made an impact. And I think you mentioned it. Setting the table, tie ball game. There we go.
The serve by Glendening, controlled, returned over. Musketeers control Fallon's attempt, tapped over. Leffler to Nolan. Sydney Nolan making her presence felt. Puts the Bearcats in the lead, 19-18 in set 3. Timeout, Xavier.
Yeah, setting it up. Sydney Nolan, she got to come alive here in these last couple points and try to break this thing away. I mean, outside hitter's been getting after it. She's playing on the right side right now. We'll see if things are on the right side of fortune for Cincinnati before we go back on break.
We are all tied up here in sets 1-1. Set 3 is 19-18 Cincinnati lead. We'll be back after a short break on Bearcat Sports Radio. We're back here, deep into set 3. Cincinnati's in the lead, 19-18. It's been a tight one. No one's been able to pull away. Glendening serve, kept up by Corsaro and the Musketeers. Emma Grace lightly taps that one over, but it's into the net. Unfriendly net says no.
Unfriendly net and a little too friendly on the tap. Just not going to put that much on it, but works out for Cincinnati, we'll say that.
Bearcats up 2, trying to take set 3 to go up 2-1. Glendening serve is going to be returned by Kemp, and a well-placed into the back corner.
Yeah, I looked at Glendening on the back row, and she was like, I wanted it, you know? But, again, that was a good shot over there. It would have been a tough recovery to get back over to the left corner and try to make a play on that. Again, the game stays tight. Or set, if you will.
Neeson. Serve, kept up, set to Nolan. Sydney Nolan absolutely killing the Musketeers right now and killing that point. 21-19, Faith Frame to serve.
Leader in kills. She's out there killing it right now. Frame serves it cleanly. The set. Grace.
Ooh, blocked at the net by Nolan.
Ooh. Look like Aziz Bandego out there blocking a shot.
Sydney Nolan putting the Bearcats up 3.
Not today.
Little Dikembe Mutombo action, if you will.
No.
The set, this time to Kemp. Goes the Bearcats' way again. Timeout. Xavier. Cincinnati's up 4. It's 23-19. Coming out of that last timeout, they stormed ahead. Now they're in the lead, 2 points away from taking set 3.
They have to close out. That's the big thing. I mean, it's been back and forth, and Cincinnati's kind of inched their way, and, you know, their gap in the last couple of points. Just finish the job. Finish the job. You go up 2-1, and then try to close it out in set 4. But again, the finer details right here. You can't give Xavier any sort of momentum, any sort of chance, and you got to take things into account and try to win this thing right here, right now.
I mean, you're really feeling good if you take set 3 that you could take the full game.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the momentum swing because Xavier took set 1, Cincinnati takes set 2. If they're able to take set 3, they're riding on that wave pretty far. They're going to continue to try to do that. I mean, looking at right now some of the stats, I mean, 51 digs, 2 blocks, 38 assists, 39 kills. I mean, they got a 2-kill advantage over Xavier, so. And the hitting percentage as well. It is nice. They have that on the scoreboard out here, which is a really nice linear scoreboard, I will say. But Cincinnati's hit percentage 24.3%, and then Xavier at 14%. Cincinnati's got to try to find ways to take advantage and find some zones.
Faith Frame serving. Over cleanly. The set. Grace taps that one, kept in by Glendening. Now the set. Leffler to Nolan. Point. Cincinnati.
Nolan trying to put a stamp toward the end of this third set. She was brought here to do big things, and she's doing them at the moment.
24-19, the Bearcats are 1 away, and a serving error by Faith Frame. Classic announcer jinx right there.
Yes, we do have to remember we're on the headset right now, so anything that we say can be used against us in a figurative court of law.
Xavier down 4. It's Margot Kemp serving. They need a big rally. Glendening to Leffler. Set to Nolan. Fallon Stewart. Doesn't matter. Blocked at the net. Point Xavier.
Big. I mean, Cincinnati's got to try to close out. It's 24-21. They're up. Any momentum that Xavier's gaining right now, Cincinnati has to put an end to it and silence it.
Margot Kemp serves it over. Leffler to Nolan for the set. Cincinnati goes up 2-1 as they pull away at the end of this tight set 3. and they're feeling good about this one.
That's how you put the finishing touches on it in the end of that set. Sydney Nolan had a ton of points on the end. I mean, that was impressive on her end. We'll see how this thing plays out going forward. That finishing was it 25? It was 25-21 was the final on set 3, but we've got a good one to finish.
Definitely a great match here. It's been tight the entire time. I mean, there's been a few runs that have happened, just a few. But the Bearcats have been playing solid ball ever since they dropped the first set. Now they're one set away from taking this whole entire match on the road and sending these Xavier fans home sad. And cold if you're in the Speedos.
That is very true. It is September, but that sun goes down. And stuff gets pretty cold here in Ohio.
2 minutes of break here on Bearcat Sports Radio. We'll return with set 4 in the Cintas Center. Set 4 action coming to you here in just a moment. You missed that last set. It was a tight one. Cincinnati pulled away at the end to win that one 25-21. They lead 2-1 and a chance to take the game if they win set 4. They dropped that first set, and since then, they've played solid. Start set 4. Carly Glendening serves over cleanly. They'll set to Moriarty. Oh my goodness. Whew. I mean, you heard the smack on that one all the way back at Clifton. I mean,
that's a ways away.
I'm going to have to ask the soccer crew if they heard that one. Any suspicious noises at 7:31 p.m.?
Detective work right there.
Leffler, set. Sydney Nolan, great job by Grace to dive and keep that one up. Return. This time, it's Legia Williams, and she's not able to get to that one. Cincinnati point. Faith Frame will serve. The set blocked off of Sydney Nolan, and on the ground on the Cincinnati side, that was Quincy Thomas who knocked that one over. So we'll see Corsaro, serve for Xavier. They're up 2-1 early in set 4. Walker to Leffler. Now to Stewart. Off the hands of the diving Corsaro. Point Cincinnati.
Going back and forth here. A good start to this being 2-2. See how this plays out.
Sydney Nolan to serve. Corsaro controls easily. Now Moriarty. Too strong, way out of the back line. And point Cincinnati. I will say, the guys in Speedos forgot to change sides this set.
They did.
They had been following our bench. They've forgotten to change sides, or maybe they did it on purpose to support their side.
It could be the case. I mean, they do need some support. And plus, we have some Cincinnati people over in the spot where Xavier was earlier. So maybe they took over and
kicked them out.
Yeah, like, hey, get out of there. You guys can go rep your team. We'll rep ours.
4-2, Cincinnati. Ooh. Make that 4-3. Moriarty again.
Ooh, that had some steam on it. Moriarty's a redhead, but woo, that was some fire off that ball.
Flaming in more ways than one. Eloise Jakowski serving again for the Musketeers. 4-3, Cincinnati leads. Glendinning ups it, set. Walker tapped over and returned. Moriarty blocked to the net by Walker. Again, this time gets it over. Nolan to Leffler. Fallon Stewart kept alive. Fake set and tapped over. Controlled by the Bearcats. Xavier again. Diving, Sydney Nolan keeps it up. Stewart. Nobody can score. Fallon Stewart.
Oh!
And a miscommunication as Sydney Nolan just ran over Faith Frame and the ball falls on the Bearcat side.
That was a great volley on both sides. They were going back and forth with that one, but after a point, it was just trying to save it. And like you mentioned, Nolan just ran into frame and unable to get after that one. That ball was set up pretty nicely to go after it, but again, just miscommunication at the same time. Just a lot of chaos.
4-4, Jakowski's serve is over. Leffler tried to lightly tap that one over, but she was blocked at the net and had no chance of keeping that one up. 5-4 Musketeers.
Yeah, Xavier, they got sent a package, and they said, nope, we're returning this right now. And Leffler just had her hands full, literally, with the ball.
Jakowski continuing to serve, and that one just a miscontrol there by Glendinning. Off her hands and out of bounds. (6-4) lead. Nolan taps it in the air. Stewart's going to have to try to get this one over, and it's into the front row. She's not able to get there.
Yeah, probably a smart business decision, excuse me, on that end. I mean, that was, again, first row. There are some kids down there. Don't want to run them over at all.
Nolan taps that one up. The set to Stewart. She gets that one over.
That was a great set, cross court. They would get Stewart on the run, found the spot. Cincinnati's got to try to build this thing back up, try to even it up.
Julie Whittakin serving again. Kept up by Corsaro. Now the set, Moriarty tries to tap it over, but Nolan's there. Leffler to Glendinning. Point. Bearcat side out, 6-7. Whittakin serve. Kept up, they'll set it. Moriarty, set was behind her. She has to hit it over. Leffler to Walker. Abby Walker ties things up at 7s. Bearcats got 4 in a row. Trying to take the lead now. It's Whittakin. Serves. Blocked at the net. Margot Kemp couldn't get it over. Glendening said, not today, nuh-uh. Bearcats have stormed back, taking the lead 8-7. Reminder, they lead 2-1. If they take this fourth set, they will win the entire match. A mistake by Corsaro. Couldn't control the serve by Whittakin. And the Cincinnati Bearcats are on a roll.
Swinging and shifting of the tide. You got to love it if you're a Bearcat fan.
Corsaro controls this one this time. Set to Moriarty, and she knocks that one right into the net. 7 in a row for the Bearcats. Timeout, Xavier.
Yeah, this is a Cincinnati team that last year they were fine in conference play, in non-conference play. They weren't the best in conference play last year. They're trying to get themselves ready in this non-conference play, get over some hurdles, some mental hurdles and everything else to try to get themselves ready for their second year of Big 12 play. They're going to have to be ready. They're going to have to stand tall. And this obstacle for them to get over, trying to beat Xavier for the first time since 2021, it's there. You know, it's there. You have a 3-point lead. Go forward. You got to close this set out. Win it 3-1. Go back over to Clifton and get ready for Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this means a lot. The rivalry, crosstown, both these teams trying to make their mark, leave their mark. Bearcats have put themselves in a great spot to win this one on the road. Currently they're up 3 and up 2-1. You mentioned last year's team didn't do the best in conference play. They're looking to change that this year. A lot of change on the team in general. The roster had a lot of turnaround. Obviously, the big addition, Sydney Nolan, we've talked about a lot tonight. She's made her presence known. Then you go look at Fallon Stewart, the freshman.
Yeah.
She's played a lot of volleyball. Faith Frame tied for the team leader in sets played. I mean, new additions making big impacts, but that's not to mention the returners. I mean, Caitlin Leffler, Glendening, Abby Walker, they've all left their mark tonight as well.
Legia Williams as well. I mean, it's been a whole slew of members for the Bearcats. They've done a good job.
Out of the timeout, a mistake by Whittakin, serving error. Side out, Musketeers.
Another thing is, I mean, we've had 3 freshmen on the court tonight. We've gotten some of these young players an opportunity. Obviously, Fallon Stewart and Faith Frame being very consistent ones, but got to get the young players opportunities.
Leffler set to Glendening, goes the way of the Bearcats. They take it right back, and Abby Walker will serve. Walker, a close one, might have gone out of bounds. Musketeers elected to keep it in. Glendening hits that one over, controlled easily. Now Emma Grace diving, keep up by Whittakin, and then tapped over. Julie Whittakin is fired up. Laid out for that one on the sideline.
Go make a play.
The effort is rewarded. Bearcat point, Walker serves. They're up 4. Kemp, that time right in between Whittakin and Nolan. Looked like Nolan kind of pulled back, didn't want to dive into Whittakin. Probably a good decision there.
Give her a chance to rest up a little bit after making that really good effort there on the side. I mean, that was spectacular.
Kemp serves, hits the net. Williams able to control it, lightly tapped over, and well placed by Glendening. Kemp not fast enough to dive and get that one.
Veteran move. You see everybody go up. Hey, I'll give it a little drop shot. Tap. Find that zone.
Kemp subbed out after that one. We see Corsaro come back in for Xavier. She's a libero. Leffler serve. Neeson controls. Set to Emma Grace. Tapped, but Leffler's there. Now Frame to Nolan. Blocked the net, kept up by Glendening. Williams tried to get it up. Tough play into the net.
That ball kept going into the net. I mean, it's a tough thing to keep an eye on because that ball goes into the net. It's not just going to bounce right back off. It absorbs into it. And then the roll is kind of like, it's a little fishy right here. I don't know which way it's going to come off or how fast it will.
Musketeer serve controlled. Leffler sets to Glendening. Perfectly placed. Powerful kill.
She's done a really good job there on the outside. I mean, she's made plays. Sydney Nolan's made plays. Fallon Stewart's made plays. All the outside hitters for Cincinnati have done a very good job. And it hasn't just been one person. It's been a whole rotation.
14-10, Bearcats leading here in set 4. Trying to come away with a match win. Blocked at the net. That one's Stewart. 5-point lead for Cincinnati. The serve by Glendening. Return and blocked in the net by Nolan and Williams. A second try, tapped over by Taylor. Frame dives to keep it alive. Hit over, blocked right into Legia Williams' face. Musketeer point, looks like Legia Williams is okay. Took a shot there.
That just got intense.
A great dive by Frame, though, to get that one up.
Took that ball to the, looks like the eye, nose. It's kind of hard to tell up here, but.
Coaching staff is checking on her.
What an attempt right there. Jeez.
Molly Alvey checking to see if she's okay. There might be a cut, and she is going to be taken out to be treated by the staff.
The women's basketball team walking a little bit below us? Looks like it.
Looks like
the women's basketball section over there, possibly. That's Katrina Merriweather down there, I believe.
I believe it is. Looks like the women's basketball team has come to support the volleyball team.
There we go. There we go. Love to see the support there. That's awesome.
Few players down there, the coaching staff here supporting their Bearcats team. And their support has been helping. They're in the lead, 15-11, 2 sets to 1.
And they both play on courts, so, they got to, court sisters in that regard, so just be there, support each other.
Looks like Legia Williams is okay, and she'll stay in the game.
That was a hard shot to the face, though, with the ball. That was tough.
Emma Grace sends it over for the Musketeers. Frame dives to keep that one alive. No one there to control it. Side out. Xavier. (15-12). Grace sends it over again. Leffler sets. Stewart blocked the net but kept alive. Good job by the Musketeers. Moriarty taps. Knocked up in the air. Leffler jumped for it but just couldn't reach that by a hair.
The mistiming right there. Very close. Try to jump and try to regain the control on that. But again, that ball did float a little bit. I'm in contempt on which way to go. But again, Cincinnati's going to try to get it back. 15-13. See what happens.
15-13 here, deep into set 4. Bearcats lead 2 sets to 1. We'll be back after a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Coming back from the timeout It'll be Emma Grace continuing to serve for the Musketeers. Both teams with 1 timeout left in set 4. Stewart knocks that one, kept alive by Grace. The set to Moriarty. Frame is there. Leffler to Stewart again. That's dangerous. Off the hands of Taylor and out of bounds. Bearcats take it back. And I got to say, looking at the crowd here in set 4, I see a lot more red than I see blue.
Whole lot of red, they say.
A sea of red, if you will, and another Bearcat point. Out of bounds, off the Musketeers, 17-13. Is Cincinnati pulling away here?
They got to try. I mean, what happened the last set? I mean, they were up 4, and then they were able to gravitate away. Hopefully this is the same case.
Bracero gets it up, tapped over by Taylor. Leffler set to Nolan, blocking out of bounds again. 5-point lead now for the Bearcats.
Outside hitters doing their job, making it difficult for the Xavier defense, and Sydney Nolan starting to wake back up again toward the end of a set.
Frame serves. Moriarty kicks it in the air. Set. Knocked over by Taylor, out of bounds, off of Sydney Nolan.
This is a good play by Anna Taylor. Give credit where credit is due. With her, again, coming into the game, second on the team in kills. 24 sets played. That's a little bit of everything for this team.
Bracero serves. Leffler set. Fake to Walker. Nolan hits it over. This time on the Musketeers, they'll set Taylor. Kept alive by Nolan. Now Glendening in the middle. Diving. Keep up by the Musketeers. Leffler gets it. Stewart hits it over. Too strong out of the back line.
Yeah, set it up right there for Stewart. She was a little far back and, wasn't able to get a great angle down on the ball. Kind of just let it hang a little bit, and that's why I went out the back end.
18-15, Cincinnati still in the lead. Xavier serve controlled and knocked into the net by Abby Walker. She was trying to get that one down as quick as she could.
She was close, very close on that one. The table was set. It was right on that white part of the net and just shot down, but very close, a game of inches on that end.
Bracero still serving for the Musketeers. Lightly taps that one over. Walker controls. Now Stewart knocked right back over by Moriarty. Leffler to Nolan. Point Cincinnati.
What are we saying here? You got Sydney Nolan toward the end of a set, starting to make a return. The Monsters come out at night, but she is one heck of a player, and they're going to need her down the rest of the stretch.
19-16, Bearcats leading here in set 4. Sydney Nolan to send it over. Grace controls it. Tapped over by Taylor. A little bit less of a tap and more of a slam.
More of a slam. And when I mean monster, like on both sides, I mean, you're talking about, some great hits down into the earth. You're talking about, hey, I don't want to get in their way at all. I'm going to let that ball go. I'll make a business decision. But again, there's both, players on both sides for Xavier and Cincinnati that are making really good plays.
Jakowski sends it into the net on the serve. Goes right back to the Bearcats. 20-17, 3-point lead deep into set 4 with a chance to take this one 3-1.
Broke 20. You gotta take it home. You gotta take it home now.
Julie Whittakin serving. She served when they went on that rally late into set 2 to take that one. Moriarty gets it over, kept up by Glendening. Leffler gets it out of the net, tapped over by Carly Glendening. This time it'll be Kemp in a well-placed. Nolan wasn't able to dive in time.
Leffler, she ran down that line of the net. She ran the entire way, had to bounce back. Sydney Nolan kind of had to take 2 different spots on that one, kind of in between. It was just a good shot down by Xavier.
Served by Neeson. Frame gets it up. Whittakin higher into the air and returned over by Glendening. Kemp knocked up by Walker. Now Leffler set. Glendening. Return and controlled. A little bit of confusion on the Bearcats side. Frame gets it up to Glendening. Good save by Neeson. Walker lightly taps it over. Free ball for the Musketeers. Kemp.
Ooh.
Dive by Sydney Nolan to get it up and over, but it landed out of bounds.
A little too much mustard on that one. I mean, trying to block that had a lot of heat coming off it. Any sort of block, that ball's just going to sail, and it definitely did sail over by the Welcome Family Court. The Wolf Family Court, my fault. Reading it backwards, it's kind of weird as that.
20-19, Cincinnati leading here in set 4. They're trying to take this one, improve to 5-2 on the season, and take this rivalry win here at Norwood University. Enemy campus, enemy territory.
What's the X for if they're Norwood?
Good question. I do not know.
Well, normally, actually, I won't say that. I'll say that after. But again,
that is a private conversation.
That is a private conversation that will take place off of the microphone. Nothing bad, ladies and gentlemen, but it'll just take place off the headset.
If you missed the beginning of the broadcast, me and Chase arrived here at the Cintas Center. Great hospitality.
Yes,
they got us set up, fixed the Ethernet for us, gave us a great booth. We've had a great view all game.
Trying to paint the picture as best that we can.
And frame it.
There you go. I like it.
Hell yeah.
That's how you do it.
Both teams out of the timeout. It'll be Neeson. Defensive specialist from Cincinnati. Went to Roger Bacon High School.
Right up the road.
Whittakin controls. Leffler set. Glendening. Neeson tried to run that one down, but knocked it out of bounds. Side out Cincinnati.
Starting to sense it a bit. Starting to sense it. Every point Cincinnati gets from here on out, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger once you break that 20 mark.
And it'll be Abby Walker serving cleanly. Set to Emma Grace, and that one's dangerous.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous right there. Setting it up. Grace able to spike it down. Had a lot of heat on it. Has some oomph in it. But, you know, that's her job, though. Kills. She's up at the front of the net. She's making those plays. They set her up, and she does business.
Served over. Whittakin knocks it up to Leffler. Set. Glendening. Point. Bearcats.
It's been a mixture of hitters. It's been a mixture of right side and outside, and it's been Nolan. It's been Glendening. It's been Fallon Stewart. All of them have come up at different times, and it's stacked on together, and that's why Cincinnati's at this point.
They set it up to Grace. This time taps it over. Leffler keeps it alive. Nolan's going to lightly tap that well-placed. Corsaro couldn't dive for it. 3-point lead, 23-20. Cincinnati on the verge of taking this.
That couldn't have been a better shot right there. You know, that kind of a drop shot, but at the same time, it was a tap, but it died really quick. And it was nothing that Xavier could do about it.
I mean, they're just putting the light touch on the ball so that it falls down. Cincinnati, they're leading 3 points here, trying to take set 4 and go away with a win. This would be a big one.
This really would. It would spark the confidence, and this is, you know, Cincinnati's first true, say standalone, but, you know, it's been tournaments the first 2 weekends of the season. This is a true road game where we're playing and then we're done. You have one opportunity. And coming on the road here against Xavier Thursday night, Xavier's got Kent State tomorrow. Cincinnati's got Kent State on Saturday. If they're able to stack these things on top of each other, it's going to be big going forward. And they got a couple of matchups next week. I believe they play Akron, and then they also play Morehead State. So they have a couple of home matches. Their first home match Saturday, they can get this one here in the city of Cincinnati, but in rivalry territory, the psyche looks pretty good.
We get a good look into the huddle from our view, and it's Caitlin Leffler who was leading that huddle and hyping the team up on the bench for that timeout. Both teams out of the timeout, 23-20. Caitlin Leffler will serve. That one gotten over cleanly. They set it up. Grace knocks it over. Frame keeps it up. Leffler's going to have to knock that one over. Free ball for the Musketeers. They set it, blocked at the net. Grace again, that time blocked and down by Latia Williams.
Yeah, here comes Cincinnati coming back. It's not coming back, but they're making amends to try to end this one.
1 point away. Xavier needs a prayer answered. Corsaro. They set it up to Grace, and that prayer is answered for now as Emma Grace said grace and got the point.
Justin, one of a kind. The turbines are moving. Are we looking at here? Oh, slick spot on the court. Don't want to have any of those in crunch time.
Do not want to slip here when the game is on the line. It will be Logan Flaw serving for the Musketeers. Bearcats still one away from winning this thing. Knocked in the air. Try to run down by Winnikin. Williams will tap it over. A great job by Winnikin to keep this alive. Grace knocks it over. Leffler dives to keep it alive. Sydney Nolan. Taylor knocks that one out of bounds. Cincinnati takes it. 3-1. A mosh pit on the court by the Bearcats team, celebrating the big win here. What a game. What a game.
I mean, wow. A way to end it like that. You go back to your best players to try to close this thing out. The outside hitters were the big part in this.
The crowd erupting in a down the drive to celebrate the win and support the team. They're running over to the corner, jumping, celebrating. What an exciting moment for this team.
Going down the drive back home to Clifton. You know, the dub, that was huge. I want to join them on this one.
The whole volleyball team has joined in on down the drive now. What an amazing moment. Taking the crosstown rivalry for themselves on the road. And what a great game it was to call with you here, Chase, on the road.
It definitely was.
A great environment, a great match, and a fun time.
Couldn't have set it up any better. I mean, coming in on the road, getting the dub, going back home for a few days, few games to get under their belt and try to get themselves off to a really nice start before conference play gets going. And, you know, Cincinnati, you got to be feeling pretty good right now.
With that win, the Bearcats improved to 5-2, their next match being at home versus Kent State on the 14th. My name was Justin Diedrich. I was joined by Chase Yance on the call on Bearcat Sports Radio. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, Cincinnati fans.